everybody, so this is Joelle and Bear, and I had the privilege to train the Red Jackets at our Gulf Coast YOUNite directors meeting today. And for whatever reason, my camera shut off halfway through. So I figured out where I was in my training and I wanted to go ahead and record the rest of it. I've had several people ask me for it, and so I'm just in my studio and getting ready to head home and have dinner with my family, but I wanted to finish my training so that those who wanted it could see it. So in the video that when I was with the Reds, I was training on going the extra mile, making your deliveries, and I try and deliver to my customer's office if at all possible. And I like to make it look just extra special when I do that. Just extra fun, just most like a gift, basically. So I was going over things to do to prepare to be a star every quarter, and so that's where I was when it cut off. Another thing I do to prepare to be a star every quarter is my birthday club. So I used to mail cards out, but I don't actually mail them out anymore. And I haven't decided if I won't do that again, but right now I'm not currently mailing out cards, but here's what I am doing. So on the first of the month, they are tagged with a picture of me, reminding them of what they get. So all of my birthdays in a particular month on the first, they are tagged with that picture, and it reminds them what their benefits are in their birthday month shopping with me. So everyone in my VIP group who has a birthday that month is tagged on the first, and then on their birthday there's a different picture posted and they are tagged in that as well in my VIP group. And it's one of the ways that I get more people in my VIP group, because I tell them that they'll be celebrated and honored on their birthday, and so that they don't think I'm just going to be salesy all the time. So on the first, they're tagged in a post with everybody that month. On their birthday, they're tagged. They get an email from me, they get 2 texts from me, and I say all this from me, and none of that is done by me, so I delegate all of that. And so when I was a consultant, a Red Jacket, and building up to DIQ, I really didn't delegate very much. And then as I went into DIQ and first year director, I started delegating more. And so I think you have to balance the task with what is it worth to you to have that time. And so that's different for everyone, but talk to your director if you're wondering, should I be delegating more? Should I be delegating less? Should I get an assistant? What does that look like? So I love my birthday club because it really just honors and celebrates them. And there's so few companies who are doing that. And so it really helps us to just set ourselves apart. We talked about branding ourselves. And so, this is just another way to do that, to make our clients and customers and friends and family just feel super special that we are their consultant for sure. Okay, sorry, I got distracted. I was like, oh no, is it not recording? It's been a little bit of a long day, so I look a little, like I'm looking at myself, I'm like, wow, you look a little tired. So here we are. I'm getting this training done though, because I really was sad that my phone cut off halfway through. I even had airplane mode on, so I don't know what happened. So anyway, share your goal. So I found that it's really important for me to share my goal with people inside Mary Kay and some close people outside Mary Kay. And so like my husband, for example, he always knows what my goal is. He is not my accountability partner. So I didn't like when my husband was like, well, how many bookings did you make today? How many faces did you see? Like that felt a little not comfortable, because it just, I don't know. It made me want to be like, well, how was your day at work? Let me dig into your details of that. So my accountability partner is usually someone who's above me in Mary Kay in the career path, but sharing my goal, I share my goal with my customers, my family, like they all know, so they can be cheerleaders for me. So my husband's a great cheerleader, but not an accountability partner. I mean, he's a good accountability partner. It just makes me feel, I just don't like the way that feels when my husband is like, how many faces? You didn't see enough faces, So, so I encourage you to just be very intentional about who you spend your time with. Who are you aligning yourself with? There are some power partners that are amazing and they are electrifying, and the synergy just gives them both just energy and excitement to go and work their business and just rock it out. And then I've seen other power partners where it just doesn't do that. And it's more negative and it's just a person that they can basically have therapy with because they're, just talking about all the things they're frustrated with. And so then it's just volatile, not volatile, but negative for both of them. And so just be really careful about who your power partner is. You can have great friends and you love them, but they may not be the best power partner for you, if that makes sense. Ways to prepare for your star referral program. So I love getting referrals because it just helps me to meet new people. We talk about having 5 avenues of leads, and referrals is definitely one for me. But I ask for referrals at every single appointment. And even if I'm not at an appointment with her, and let's just say a customer's placing an order with me, and she's like, okay, that's it. That's all I need. And I'm like, hey, girl, I'm really working to increase my my business and just grow it a little bit. If I gave you an extra product at 50% off, would you have 5 or 10 names and numbers that you could give me? And in fact, I will give them a gift card from you, and really it'll be from me. What do you say? So I'm looking for how, if I can't have a party with her, and there are just people who are like, no, I don't want to do that, or we've already done that and I don't want to do it again, or whatever. I'm still looking, I'm trying to be creative. I'm thinking outside the box. Like I am, okay, where can I get a yes there? How can I offer her something in order to get something in return that will help me grow? And I'm just putting my money where my biggest weakness is. And so for me, meeting new people, I would much rather give someone a half off product, which costs me 0, and have some new people to follow up with than to go out and warm chat. Some people are great at warm chat. It's just not something that I have done to build my business because I'm an introvert and I'm shy. And so for me, walking up to a stranger, it just doesn't feel like it's ever delivered well. And so knowing that, for me, that just means that warm chat is not one of my 5 sources of leads, if that makes sense, because I do it rarely. And so it's not something that I can count because it's not a continuous stream, if that makes sense. And then activity. Probably the most important way to prepare to be a star is activity. You guys, the 21-day booking system was life changing for me. I felt before that I was just kind of wandering willy-nilly, and I would find a note that I was supposed to call her 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 2 years ago, and like, oh my goodness, I've lost it. Now I'm embarrassed. I don't know what to say. I followed up with people, but it was inconsistent. The booking system has created consistency in that for me. And you guys, like, the person who invented it, I could just give him the biggest hug because it changed my business. You got to figure out how you want to work that. So some people do it in a binder. Some people do it in those zip up pouches. Some people do it in like an index card box. You've got to do it in the best way for you so that you'll use it. That is really the biggest thing. Like, you can have the cutest, most amazing monogrammed stuff, but if you're not using it, it's not helping you to move forward, right? So in your activity, find a system that works for you. The 21-day system works great for me, and so that's what I use. God, He calls us to be obedient, you guys. He calls us to be obedient, and that includes us being obedient in our preparation. We have to be willing to do the preparation to reap the reward. We have to plant the seeds. We have to sow the seeds. And I believe nothing comes back void. And so it may not come back in the place that we planted, but I believe that when we're obedient and we give God efforts to bless, that it all comes back. God just loves to bless us. So, oops, sorry, hit my camera. So one of the things I talked to the gals about was a benefit of being in the star, being a star consultant, is you are in the Companywide referral program. And this is a huge deal. So if someone sees a Mary Kay ad or a Mary Kay anything, or just see somebody mentioned on Facebook, they can go and go to marykay.com and search for a certain zip code. So when you sign up for a website, you pick 5 zip codes. And so if she does one of those, you could be one of the consultants listed there in the list from the company, like, hey, these are our consultants. And the company does that for star consultants because they want to be sure that the consultant they're recommending has product on hand to offer her and to be able to take care of her. So I had a gal call me at about a month ago, and she called me at like 9:02 in the morning. And side note, answer your phone. I know there's a lot of spam going on right now. I'm getting tons of spam calls. but I answered my phone. She was looking for a foundation. And I said, great, I can come to you. You can come to me. Does today work? And she's like, absolutely. She's like, how about 11? I'm like, great. You want me to come to your house? Do you want to come to my studio? And she's like, oh, I'll come to you. Great. So she came in. She said, I'm only looking for a foundation. She had done some work at a dermatologist, and like this part of her face was just way lighter than this part. And so she always wears foundation because she's self-conscious about that. And so, of course, when someone wants foundation, we get their skin ready. We prep it so that it will look the very best that it can. And so I asked her questions about, what kind of skincare, what was she interested in skincare. And so I actually demoed the repair set that day. And we talked about the 3D set as well. So she came in for a foundation the same day she called me. After an hour and a half, she bought $357.80. And then a week later, she spent $106.43. And then about 10 days after that, $168.70. 3 days later, $524.60, and the next day, $59.46. And you guys, that's $1,216.99 from one person who I never would have met. We don't really have any overlapping friends. We're not in the same age range. We don't live very far from each other, but I don't know that I ever would have met her. And that solely came from being a star and being in the Companywide referral program. And so be a star. Make that your track to run on, like I was talking about with the Reds today. Pick that and run with it. Make that like your baseline, like I'm always going to be a star, and then answer your phone. Answer your phone. Okay, and I asked the stars, I kind of shifted and said I wanted to talk about the critical 6 inches. And I just said, do you ever feel guilty? And there were lots of heads nodding, hands raised. Do you ever feel disappointed in your business? Disillusioned? Do you ever feel like the devil is messing with you? And everyone, different people, but everyone nodded to at least one of those. And I just said, when things go interesting, that is when you know you're on the right track. Like if the devil doesn't have to worry about you, he's not going to mess with you. But we want to have kingdom impact for what we're doing. And for me, my Mary Kay business is a way to pay bills. I started my business for money and flexibility, but it's so much more than that. It is for me a vehicle to reach people and to try and show them the love of Christ through skincare and glamour, and just me loving on them and building relationships with them. So we're 6 days out from finishing the star quarter for the first quarter of this seminar year. And so there'll be 3 types of finishes on September 15th at midnight. Okay. So in the next 6 days, number 1 finish is I'll be a star next quarter, and I'll do all star next year. Like I'll get to it. Cause if we miss the first quarter of the star year, the first quarter of this year, then we miss out on being an all-star, getting that fabulous Ted Baker 5th star prize. But it's more than that. It's about the pride. It's about leading well. We can't expect our team members to go and earn their 5th star prize if we're not willing to do that ourselves. So the first type of finish is, I'll just do it next quarter. I only have 6 days. I'll just do it next quarter. I'll just do it next quarter, right? I'll do all-star next year. I don't have to do it this year. We let ourselves off the hook. The second type of finish is, well, I'll try to be a star. I'll try. And I'm here to tell you that 1 foot in is 2 feet out. 1 foot in is 2 feet out. And so you're not committed, and God can't bless efforts you're not giving him. He cannot bless what you are haphazardly thinking about or doing. God cannot bless what you're thinking about haphazardly. He cannot, let me say it again. God cannot bless what you're haphazardly thinking about or doing. You have to be intentional, right? God has planted the dreams and desires for your Mary Kay business. So stop asking him to reconfirm what you're supposed to do, or should I be here? You're here. Go for it. You're here now. And so if God changes and wants you to pivot, he'll let you know, right? He has given you this God-given goal. So he doesn't ask or tell us how. He just asks us to show up. Like that's it. He asks us to show up. We have to give him the efforts to bless. We have to move our feet so that he can bless them. So first type of finish is I'll do it next quarter, next year. The second one is I'll try. And the third one is play it all out. Like you put your blinders on, you run it out, you suit up, you show up, and you do this thing. Stop talking about it. Put it into action. We sometimes can talk about things so much that people stop believing us, right? And we never would want that. And so be committed to your goal. And to me, being a star is like the baseline. That's our track to run on. Everything else builds from there. And they say stars turn cars, right? I've never missed a star quarter, and I have been driving a free car since, we earned our first one a year into the business, and I've been driving free ever since. And so I believe there is a correlation between being a star and driving a free car, for sure. Sometimes when we're working on a goal, whether it's being a star, moving into Red Jacket, moving into DIQ, moving into directorship, whatever. Sometimes we think that the victory is this huge, audacious thing. It's like this big finish line, this humongous thing. But I believe it's the little things. They don't seem important, but added up, they really are the big things. You guys, I tell my unit this all the time. The little things are the big things. The little things, they are the big things. And so do the little things, do them consistently, be just disciplined to those little things. And I'm telling you, when you fill the pipe that way, you will have a flow coming out. But we have to be willing to be disciplined and do the little things and continuing to fill the pipe. Because when we start in our business, like maybe I took a little time off and now I am really back to building my business, right? It is usually 60 to 90 days from the time you start working again till you really see the reward, the fruit of that labor, if you will. And so you really do want to be consistent so that you don't have a stop in seeing the fruit from the labor. Okay, where to focus in the next 6 days. So these are some ideas that you can use to knock out your star in the next 6 days. So customer service, be creative. How could you, what could you offer? How could you follow up? What could you do customer service wise that could help generate sales to finish up your star? PCP follow-up from the August lookbook. If you haven't done that yet, or if you haven't gotten a response from her, follow up again. We can't sit back and just wait for them to reach out to us. There are those golden few who get their lookbook and they're like, hey, I'm ready to place an order. But for the most part, we have to do the follow-up. We can't wait for them. You could have a $1,000 day. And don't overthink it. Don't make it complicated. Offer some kind of incentive and follow up. The fortune really is in the follow-up, and so we have to follow up. But you literally could launch it in the next day or so and do it 2 days later and have a $1,000 day. And that would really help in finishing up that star goal. Do a customer appreciation event this weekend. I know that it's Tuesday, but guess what? You could go ahead and plan it and send invites out. The sky's the limit. Keep it simple. Offer them a swag bag. Do something fun. Let them try something new. And like we talked about earlier, make sure you have the demos for them to try things. But a customer appreciation event, I love those live events because they really get me in the space of my customer. They can touch, see, and feel the product, and they love that. And so it is a great way to increase some sales there. Be your own hostess. I call them a hibachi party. And so you are the hostess and you invite everyone. So instead of trying to find a hostess, you just start booking, You could do that this weekend. You could do one Saturday at 10, one at 2, and one at 6. You just plug them in and have yourself a 3-day party Saturday. Okay, so another thing you can do in the next few days is print your customer list, whether it's off of InTouch or whatever you use. Print all of your customers, and I want you to go through and mark. I want you to put a P for party, which means she's been a hostess, an F for facial or makeover, and an S for share. We call them shares in my unit. So some people call them career chats. We call them shares because I'm just sharing information about our opportunity. I don't know that everyone who talks to me about having a American business is interested in another career. And so we wanted to do something that didn't make them think that, well, I don't even I don't need to have a career chat if I'm not interested in a career. So we just call them shares. If you call them interviews, put I. If you call them career chats, put C, whatever. But label your list. You're looking for your next best step with your each customer instead of on a broad scale. Like when you mark your customers with P, F, or S, then you know, okay, what's my next best step with her? Okay. Your demos need to be epic. I already mentioned that. So, and if your demos aren't where you want them to be, how can you get them to where you want them to be? What can you do? Is it adding one product to each order? Is it having a skincare party and taking the profit from that party just to increase your demos? Whatever that looks like. But having demos is huge. And that customer I told you about earlier from the referral program, had I not had the demos, she would have left with the foundation. I guarantee. Absolutely. Share your goal. Let customers know how they can help. You know, our customers, they want to be a part of a winning team. So let them know how they can help you, how they can have a place to play so they can share in your victory. They can't share in your victory if you don't share the goal. I mean, they'll be happy for you, but they share in the victory when they feel like they were part of the process. So let them share in that by sharing the goal with them. You can sell all star gift certificates. So you can sell a $65 certificate and it only costs them $50, $100 and it only costs them $80, a $125 gift certificate and it only costs them $100. So they're saving money, and that's getting you the money to go ahead and place your order to get your star done, and then they can use those certificate whenever, if you want to put an expiration date on it or not. You can do that, but it's just a way to get cash, and they could even buy it now, and a guy could buy it and use it for his wife for Christmas, or his mom or whatever. So you can sell star gift certificates to get an increase of the dollars coming in to help finish out your star. And y'all, I finished my training today with some scripture out of Titus, and I've not spent a lot of time in Titus, and so my pastor, not this past Sunday but Sunday before, this was a part of his sermon, and it really made me just parallel my Mary Kay business when he was talking about it. And so I wanted to share that with you guys as I close. So it's Titus 2:7-8, and in this version it says, show yourself in all respects to be a model of good works in your teaching. Show integrity, dignity, and sound speech. I'm going to read it one more time. Show yourself in all respects to be a model of good works, and in your teaching, show integrity, dignity, and sound speech. Our assignment is not to show how good we are. It is to show the goodness of God. That is what we are here for. That is what we are doing. God never places you anywhere He doesn't intend to use you. He never places you anywhere He doesn't intend to use you. But we have to be willing to be obedient. We have to be willing to run the race, do the small things, fill the pipe. We have to be willing to do the things we know to do. And so I love training the Reds today. It was just such a privilege. And so if you were there with me, just know that your words of affirmation after the training just made me well up with tears. I've thought about it all day long today, just how special y'all made me feel. And so thank you for pouring into me and just making my day. And if you weren't there today, just know that you were missed. Thanks so much for being so patient with my technology. Love y'all. Till next time.